yesterday was AEW Grand Slam. At the time of recording, I've not seen it, you've not seen it, but you've heard it was a hell of a show.
I heard it was a hell of a show, and they had some surprises on it. And a lot of the endings of the matches that we call finishes surprised me too. But that's why I think people watch wrestling, to be surprised. If you go to a football game or a soccer game and you know who's going to win and the team wins, you say, I knew that was going to happen. Same way in wrestling. The guy that you thought was going to win won. You say, I knew that. But when the guy you don't think was going to win wins, well, that's different. Let me tell you what I think sets what is it? AIW?
AEW.
AEW. I said AI. I think what sets them apart from most other promotions is they have finishes. They don't have a lot of run-ins. They do, but not like some companies that I worked for in the past. It was just a constant interference or something behind the referee's back. Well, I've always said if you're going to do this in front of the referee, it's on camera. What happened to the instant replay? And all you had to do was go back and look at it. And that was the same, not ideology, but it was the same scheme that I used in Puerto Rico. I used finishes. I bet the whole time, the 3 years I was in Puerto Rico, I bet I didn't have more than 10 DQs in 3 years. Because I thought that if a fan buys a ticket and sits down, me, as the booker, I'm obligated to them to give them a decent finish. And I didn't do that many DQs either. How I kept heat on the heels. I demonstrated that the good guys could beat the bad guys, but the belts were really not on the line that much. So when the title match come, now I work my heat. And I think that may have helped AEW out because you have with any new promotion, TNA was the same thing. The people sit back and said, that was nothing. This is that. You're always going to have your complainers. I don't care what it is. WWE has more than anybody, but yet look at the business they do. My advice to anybody watching wrestling is sit back and enjoy it for what it is. And if it gets to the point to where you don't enjoy it anymore, guess what? Watch something else or turn the TV off and go to bed. That's simple advice. And if you follow that, nobody wants to be around somebody constantly bitching about the show. Don't watch it. Simple as that.
I've got a question for you then. So you said in 3 years in Puerto Rico, maybe 10 DQs. Now, do you have to, when somebody else is coming in or maybe some big stars making some sort of appearance, do you have to sort of let these people know that the culture here is no DQs, you take your loss like a man, you take your wins like a man, that kind of thing, or what?
Hey, if they come in, I was paying them. This is what I wanted them to do. Now, it's according to how big they were. Like I brought Kane in and I DQ'd him. Of course, he destroyed everybody, but everybody thought he was going to do that anyway. So he did what the fans expected him to do. But I brought in some more guys. If I'm paying them, I want them to do what's going to help me. And a lot of times I forgot how I did this, but I would say, I know what I do. I say, let him hook you with a small package. 1, 2, 3, hop up, give me like a 10-second fade out. Okay. Then you get up and you beat the living crap out of him and leave him laying. Oh, okay. But they didn't know that when the tape played back, I stopped the tape at the end of the 10 seconds and they never saw the rest of it. So, and that's how sometimes you have to, they don't know what I'm going to do with that tape anyway. But they did what I said, and it was my obligation to get my company going. I mean, it wasn't my company, but I was booking the company, and hopefully, and it was making big money. When I got it hot, we would go to stadiums that seated 15, 16,000 and turn people away. I bet now in Puerto Rico, you couldn't give 15,000 tickets away. You couldn't do it.
I saw some footage from Puerto Rico that I looked at and I thought, this must be from like the late 80s or something like that. No, it was brand new. Yeah. I mean, they filmed, I've probably said this before, but they must film those shows on a potato. It's like they look terrible. Or they did at least a few years ago when I last saw them. And, you know, you could film it on your phone and have better quality. And I don't know why they just don't update stuff.
Well, they had a library there. And I kept asking them, I said, when you guys you're going to sell this to Vince or WWE? Maybe it was WWF then. And they said, well, we're talking. So, and IWA had kind of died on its own because when I left down there, the territory still did well for about 6 months, but it was running on the steam that had been built up prior. And then when they had to start doing everything new, then it started dropping and dropping and dropping. And finally, the guy who owned it, whose name was Victor Quinones, when he died, it just went all to hell. I mean, because he had put a lot of money in it, but when he passed away, it kind of just, it lost its steam. And somehow in their tape library, I don't think they owned it. Some other guy from the States bought it, and how he bought it, I don't know. And that's why you don't see a lot of old Puerto Rico stuff on the network of WWE, because they paid well for that stuff. So, but you don't even see a lot of it on even YouTube now.